All right, section A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 times. The next bar, 1 and 2 and 4 and. And on the final playthrough of that, you're going to add an extra kick that sounds like this. 1 and 2 and. That will take you up to 20 seconds where you'll do the verse 3 times, adding the kick on the 4, on the and of 4, every second time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and into the yellow fill at 27. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then go back to the verse 3 times with the same extra kick where it went. Then the yellow fill again. Now at 40 seconds, when you do the blue verse 3 times, there is no extra kick on the and of 4. It's just 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4 and. On that third bar, one thing I like to do is count 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 4 and. Otherwise, it can be a little difficult to keep track of how many times you've gone 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, knowing you need to do that 8 times. So just count in a way that's comfortable and works for you. Section C, you're going to do this 7 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Into the fill. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That time you're going to do the verse 8 times. Section D, 8 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then on the 8th time, you're just going to land on the 1 for the piano. So pretend I've played it 7 times. This is number 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now notice the notation, that letter Z means I'm using this on the first and third playthrough only, the odd playthroughs. So after the piano gets done counting like you just did, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Section E, 1 and 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4. Now on the second playthrough, add that extra note on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4. Now you're on to the part at 3 minutes, which is that third bar. 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then I usually like to add a 1 to distract while I put the throw off on, and then shimmy on the back half of the interlude. So otherwise the interlude would, if I start at 3 minutes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 now you're up to 3:10 and you're ready to go. So after I do a 1, switch the throw off back on, shimmy on the last 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now I'm up to the chorus 7 times at 3:10. And this is tricky because you have to cross your hands, so let me show you this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7 times. Let me show you one more. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Pretend that I am playing it on the 7th time into the fill at 3:27. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then back to crash again and do the chorus 3 times. On that fill, you just keep playing straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and the only part that you change is 4 and but you'll notice there's a stagger to it where it flows. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So the more you play this section, the more you're going to pick up that you're not adjusting your kick drum at all. You're just throwing in the, you got the 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and the 4 and happens anyway. So let me show you the bar and the fill. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now I'm back for 3 times at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and into the fill at 3:37. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, you hear how similar all of that is? Pretty close. In fact, it's the same thing except technically you're supposed to play the fill at 3:27 with the symbol like this. 4 and then the one at 3:37 goes 4 and I probably don't do that in the video because I just get it close enough. G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 times into the green fill. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and It sounds harder than it is. Again, your kick does not slow down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, the difference is you're going to switch which hand hits the hi-hat, which is going to free you up to add the E4 and then the and up. So here it is 3 times really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up. So once you get that body mechanic down, the green fill should come smoothly. Section H, this is where you're going to switch to doing the snare on 2 and 4, not splitting like you were here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now when you roll that into the green fill, what you have to pay attention to is you're doing the hi-hat more times than you did last time. So this time it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a subtle change, but tricky. So do it from 3 minutes and 50 seconds from the chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you're at the green fill. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Back to the chorus 3 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 into the blue fill. The blue fill is 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. Let me show you again. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. Okay, so I promise you that once you play this and count this, it's not as tricky as it seems. I'll do it twice coming out of the chorus to the fill, and then repeat to show you again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. How do I learn that fill, you ask? I compartmentalize it, I tell you. I look at it as 3 separate connected chunks. 1 E and a 2. Once you learn that, you're on your way to getting the fill. The next part of the fill is and a 3. Once you can put those together, 1 E and a 2 and a 3. Then you just have to learn the last part, and 4 E and a. So I think of this as 3 separate fills, not as one fill. So I come out of the chorus, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. And to me, that's 3 separate chunks. Section I, the final section. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I look at the fill at 417 in 3 pieces. 1 and 2 and, 3 E and, 4 E and then I just connect them. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and then you're back to the chorus 3 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to the blue fill. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a. Then you're transitioning into the outro 6 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Was that 6 times? I hope it might have been 5. But you'll count it when you play it.